Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the MRC show that never ends. We are here now in a very, very wet, very damp, very wet Brazil for Tier 4 action. We have just witnessed a fantastic, very, very good race in Tier 3. And I kind of feel that there's a bit of symmetry for Monday night. Tier 2 was dry, Tier 1 was wet, Tier 3 has just been dry, and now Tier 4 is wet. Well, are we going to see just as much action? I'm pretty sure we will. We usually do with Tier 4. And before we get into the qualifying session with cars starting to leave the pit lane, I am absolutely overjoyed to welcome back to the commentary box the man who likes to go downhill very, very quickly on two wheels, to say the least. And I think with that introduction, there is no need to go any further. There can only be one man that we're talking about here. It is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. The reason we're all here is Mr. Martin Hills. Good evening.
Good evening. I was starting to wonder whether you were where you were going with that when you said it's all downhill. I thought you were talking about my gin drinking.
I'm definitely don't want to talk about drinking. No, great to have you with me.
Well, it looks like it's going to be at least a wet quali. Good if somebody could let us know what's happening in the race. That would be ace.
Yeah, certainly would. Certainly would. So who have we got in this evening? I'm going to have to quickly check and see who we've got potentially as reserve drivers. We have got in the Haas, we have Oatcakes, as I like to call him. That's Ollie T. He is in the Haas this evening, and we've got in the Alpha Tauri. Is he on track? Where is he gone? Can't find him. He'll be there somewhere. We have got Harry Smith as well. So Smith is with us this evening. So welcome to you. Welcome to everybody watching. And I'm assuming we're going to be in for another good one.
Yeah, it's funny. T4 suddenly features a bunch of old school names, doesn't it? Like going right back to many, many seasons ago.
Yeah, it does. So we've got Ollie T back. He did leave us for a little while, but glad to see him back. We've got, of course, our manager, commander-in-chief at the moment, Scott. There's a few drivers. Luke Shard's been with us a while now.
Oh, Smith 96.
Smith 96, there he is, Harry Smith, that's the one I was looking at.
Indeed, yep.
I think he was here back in, season 2, if I seem to remember.
He was here ages ago, yeah. I can't remember exactly when that, I'm slightly addled, but, I'm only part way down the glass. But, yeah, he's definitely been around for a long time. And yeah, no, and Winky as well. Where's Winky reappeared from?
Exactly, Wee Willie Winkle is with us. It's all great to see, and that's again the positives that we have with MRC. People do leave for different personal reasons, but they're all ready to come back at a moment's notice and can't wait to do it.
Yeah, and it's as things have started settling across the tiers. Every single one of them is super competitive now, isn't it? It's sort of when we first launched Tier 4, it was kind of there was sort of quite a big skills gap, I guess, between 3 and 4, and that's suddenly evened up quite a lot. And I think anybody who's racing at the front of Tier 4 can easily race competitively in Tier 3, and some of them are pretty handy in Tier 2, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly that. We've just seen Gibbon having a good race in Tier 3. Likes to reserve there quite often, for example. And you're right, it is it's one of those that now you kind of maybe 2 seasons ago you could almost predict the top 5 maybe in a particular order, and now it's every tier is absolutely anybody's.
Yeah, it is super competitive. There's definitely, the guys at the sharp end of Tier 1 are...
So I was just on board with Donny Osmond, and he lost it outside of turn 5, managed to catch it, and then got a bit of a slapper on and has lost his wing in the wall. Lucky he didn't retire on that one.
I thought you were going to come out with a 1 minute, Ted.
Yeah, it really was.
What was I starting to say? Yeah, I mean, it seems like the performance at the front of Tier 1 keeps kind of just shooting off higher and higher and higher all the time. Those guys are aliens, but I think you could probably quite happily mix and match the at least the top half of Tier 4 into any of the other tiers, and they'd probably get on alright, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they certainly will. Certainly will. Gibbon, good lap on a 17.8. I tell you what, 38 though, his lap time there, a 17.5, and the Inters is a really, really strong lap time on the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, that's pretty handy, isn't it? I mean, what's your strategy when it's a wet quali then, Mark?
Usually, other than the changes in setup, I like to put about 5 or 6 laps of fuel in, knowing that the tyres do come in after maybe even 2 laps. So I like to do a bit of a longer run and see. I did try that in the wet. We had obviously wet qualifying for Tier 2, and it was on the full wet. I did try to do that, but I found the DRS recuperation, even on 0 through your slowdown lap, wasn't great.
Yeah, no, it uses a lot of deployment over the course of a lap round here, and it takes a long time to come back again. So you can't really do like a 2-lap run like you can at most tracks very easily. Yeah. You can just about. I did manage to do it, but I think it really depends. The thing is, if you haven't got the grip to be able to brake hard, you're not going to be getting the charge from it. So I guess that's probably what happens in the wet, but. I'm like yourself. I kind of stick 6 laps in and try and do 2 or 3 hot runs from that. But do you go out straight away?
I do tend to gauge how wet it actually is, because as well with that you don't know what's going to happen in that session. So I do like to try to go out early while the track's a bit quieter. Yes, it's not as grippy. But sometimes with the full wet, it's handy because it can get a bit slippery.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, it would be great if someone could drop into the YouTube comments what the forecast is going to be.
Yeah, that would help.
We've got a few people going out on softs right now.
Ooh, let's have a quick look at those details.
Necromancer and Luke Chard do they know something we don't know?
Well, it has stopped raining.
It does look a bit brighter.
Yeah.
So let's have a...
Are we going to see those lap times tumble 10 minutes left in the session?
None of them actually left the pit yet, having said that. They've just stuck their softs on, so they haven't actually gone anywhere yet.
That's it. I think they'll know it's stopped. They have that the forecast, so they'll know when it's going to stop. And then they'll just wait and see. They'll know from their timing screens who is going to be quicker. Wow, Lost Infinity in his second run. 16.1. He had a 16.9 on his first run, and now he's put a 16.1 in. That is if it doesn't dry up enough for those soft tyre runners, that is a serious gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean the track did evolve a lot when we were on it on Monday night. As the dry line started appearing, it did get a lot quicker.
Yeah, it did.
It's also tricky to know how much tyre used to go for if you've got a wet.
Oh, sucker!
I was on board for that. That was interesting.
Wow! Oh, didn't look like a bad lap either. Oh, that's so unlucky.
I remember there's been a few people do that over the years. I remember Alonso doing that a few years back.
Oh, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
In that exact spot. And there was another year where someone else did it, and Alonso tried to charge through it and hit a load of debris, and then had a massive accident afterwards.
Was it not Webber?
Oh, was it Webber going through? Was it?
Or Webber crashed and Alonso went through, or vice versa. There was something like I think.
Yeah, I think it was Alonso carried on through. I'm sure he had one of those days of thunder moments where aim for where the car isn't and keep your foot down.
Yeah.
Or aim for where you think it's going to... Aim for where it is because it won't be there when you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the scary moments, those ones. You've got to judge that one just right. There's a few people now applying the soft tyres in the pits. Oh, Skipman gets a bit twitchy. He was a second up as well in his first sector. Countering a little bit of traffic now. Chelsea pops in a 16.0. That track is definitely getting a lot quicker. And are we going to see... Oh, Gibbons now, he was 1.8 up as well on his time and invalidates. Oh, through turn 11.
There's a lot of people in the pit right now.
Yeah, there is.
And 38 is the first one to come out. 38 and DRS Junior are both out on track on softs right now.
Yep, so we're going to follow 38.
It does look dry. Oh, he's struggling a bit though.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was going there. I thought there was... I was looking back to see if there was another car coming, but no, there wasn't. So... yeah, this is going to be a treacherous lap for him. Just see, is there enough grip? How much can he push? Is there anything there on turning? Is there anything on throttle application? And he is looking a little bit twitchy as he just goes through. Well,
and everyone's doing it now. Everyone's coming into the pits and slapping a set of softs on. So
38 is obviously a Tyrrell fan and not a Rolex fan. Well,
I didn't see that, but I'm guessing something involving an advertising hoarding happened there.
Yes, it's not there now.
Okay. Explosions of polystyrene.
Yeah, exactly. But Donny's 14.7 again. He put fresh inters on, and that is a very good lap. Now DRS enabled, so we are getting to that soft tyre stage now. The dry tyres will be getting strapped on, I'd imagine, by all of the drivers. There's enough time for potentially 2 runs if you make it quick. Let's ride on board with 38 through turn 1, through the 10 rest of turn 2. Is he going to be able to get flat out through 3? Just about can do it. DRS now wide open down the Retta Raposta. Little traffic gets out of the way. Managed to brake nicely on his dry markers there for the Cida de Lago through 4 and 5. Can actually take that flat now, so there is just enough grip. You can see the track is looking nice and dry. Upshifts nice now to stop the rear from kicking out through turn 7. Turn 8 now, no name on that one. Turn 9 that I can't pronounce and I'm not even going to try to. And then into the double turn 10, the Pico de Pato. And then down through Magulo, turn 11. Is he going to be able to take that one flat? Nice upshift as well to keep the rear from sliding. Nice heavy brake. That's a beautiful apex. Must admit through Juncal. The drive up the hill. Is he going to get a distant toe? He may just about. DRS open. Now we're going to see a very good lap time. We're going to see a 1 minute 10s. 1 minute 4.5. What? Good lap.
Yeah. And he's lost it just after finishing his lap. So
and Jordan Byrne has lost a... How has that happened?
Wow, where has that happened?
What happened there? Because he was braking into turn 1. I didn't know there was a car behind him, and Jordan's gone into...
Oh, yeah, of course.
And lost a wheel.
Yeah.
That's a very strange one.
Must have just hit it at a funny angle, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean everyone's out sticking in fast laps now.
Yeah, certainly are.
Smith 96 has just he's gone within half a second of 38, but that's a pretty competitive first dry lap, isn't it?
Yeah, we're on board at the minute with Lost Infinity. Did have a very, very good lap on the intermediates early on. What can he do on the dry tyres now? How's his setup? What's he looking at? Has he now done the dry setup, or has he done a hybrid? Seeing what's going to happen in the race, and a 10-0 from Infinity. It's time to go again. Mr. Manager has not left. He's just about leaving. No, he's not. Still hasn't left the pits yet. There's Scott.
I'm just watching Luke Chard. He's on the hot lap right at the moment as well, and he was quite comfortably up in the first sector. He's just coming towards the end of the second sector at the moment.
Yeah, we're going to ride on board with him now. The side podless Mercedes. Will they follow that design suit next season?
No.
What? I think they're probably going to change it, to be honest. He's down.
Yeah.
On that time, just maybe... he's kind of run out of ERS, I should say, so this will be his in-lap. Plenty of time to stop on a fresh set and go once more. I think Scott's looking at doing one run and one run only, unless he's giving himself a quali ban in the last to first challenge.
Donny Osmond's on an out lap, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do, because obviously he was fastest on the wet tyres just now.
Yeah, it was.
Chelsea's taking chunks of time out of his time as well.
Yep, on board.
Although
with the Red Bull.
Is he on a second? No, he's on his first lap, isn't he?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, he is. That just shows you tried to gauge it a little bit through the ERS usage, and that shows just how much you use through that first sector and climb up to 6 and 7. That you're down to almost bare minimum as you come across the line. Takes that inside line, gets a 10.6 on the board. That currently pops him into 5th. Winky's popped one into 6. Good lap from him.
This track's just going to get quicker and quicker now, isn't it? I think the last man on track has got a good chance of sending us a seriously good time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We're going to ride on board with Smith. He's 1.5 seconds up through the first sector. Goes wide from the apex. Doesn't want to kiss inside of turn 4. Done that plenty of times. Well, it's a bit better on this game, must admit. Gibbons had a sneaky lap. 1:09.5. Great lap from Gibbon. Pops him into 2nd, and that was his 2nd lap on those soft tyres as well.
38 is about to start his next hot lap.
Yeah.
So he's timed that fairly nicely. There's 1:30-ish of the session left. So Scott's going to be coming out at prime time.
He is. Let's have a look at Smith up the hill. DLS wide open on the Red Bull. What can he do? Can he jump up the leaders? He does, into 6th as well, and a 1:10.1, just ahead of DLS, and just behind Lost Infinity was also on an out lap. So let's have a look down at the Mercedes man of Scott, prepping for his hot lap, his one and only hot lap that he's going to get. Hope he's not watching. I can't cope with another commentator's curse.
Oh, Roundy's doing a much quicker lap, but he's found loads of cars in Sector 1 suddenly, all through the twisty turny section of the that sort of Sector 1 into Sector 2.
Oh yes, yeah. That's the thing with it being such a short lap. It is very easy to get traffic, isn't it? And even when you think,
yeah, there was just cars everywhere. Yeah, there were 3 cars in that that sort of fast right. Unfortunately, I think it may have been distracting, even if it didn't actually slow him down.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're right. It could move way off the line, but you do just wonder where the goes. 38 to the goes even quicker. 9.0.
Roundy still goes 9th.
Yeah, it does still go 9th. Good lap. Good lap from the Pentagon.
Times up the top are getting quite tight, aren't they? 38's obviously got something at this track, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really does. Really, really does. That would be really competitive in Tier 3.
Yeah.
Like that. Now, what can Scott do? Drive up the hill through the box corner, as I call it. DRS wide open. Does he take the shorter run to the line? He does. What can he do?
Boom!
Well, that's coming out with a bang.
Yeah, that's keeping your Tinder dry, isn't it, or whatever it's called?
Yeah, and the card's close to his chest. Didn't want to give that away too early. But I tell you what, RFC Danny, Gav's favourite. The baby Gav is on a good lap. He was 6 seconds up, so this could be in the 1:10s unless he gets a really good last sector. As he goes a 1:9.4 into 4th. Great jump up there.
Good work.
Yep. The last people. So Chelsea has bailed on his lap. As 38 on a lap. He's in the pits as well, and that is qualifying. Scott takes pole position with a one-lap wonder
by 800ths.
Yeah, from 38. I bet he thought he had that in the bag as well. But then Lost Infinity, he popped it up into 3rd as well with his last attempt on a 9.2.
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying, that track was just getting quicker and quicker, wasn't it? All the way through those last 5 minutes or so.
Yep, as soon as it dried, that was it, wasn't it? You called it, and it's definitely proven true. And yeah, very much so. That was really, really quick there towards the end. Times absolutely tumbling. Drivers getting quicker by over 1.5 seconds on, well, each sector, really. So we have Scott on pole, 38 will line up alongside him in 2nd, Lost Infinity in 3rd, with Baby Gav, obviously Danny in 4th, Gibbon in 5th, Donny Osmond in 6th, The Pentagon in 7th, Chelsea in 8th, Smith 96 in 9th. Lining up is Smith F1 in 10th. So the two Smiths together. And then we'll run you through the rest of the order. DRS Julian is in 11th. Oatkicks is in 12th. Johnny Smooth, Johnny Ruff, Johnny Bravo in 13th. Wee Willie Winkle in 14th. Jackster in 15th. Necromancer in 16th. Luke Shard in 17th. Axel in 18th. Didn't get a lap, looks like, on the soft tyres towards the end. Saka, unfortunately, we saw him have that, really big hit in the Haas. He will start 19th. And Jordan Byrne, with a very strange incident, not sure how that happened, is in 20th. We'll land up at the back of the grid. I'm interested. I mean, that's the thing about these when he's commentating. The time disappears. I can't believe that session's done.
Yeah, it went really quickly, didn't it? Yeah. I think that's the thing when it almost felt like a two-part session, didn't it? Because of the fact that obviously it started wet. It almost feels like you were talking about a different session altogether to start off with.
Oh, it's very, very wet though.
Still haven't got any updates on the weather in the YouTube chat though. In fact, no one apart from Gibban has said anything in the YouTube chat tonight.
Yeah, where is everybody? Come on, folks, get involved. We love to hear your comments. We'll always read them out and love a bit of conversation with everyone. We had a lot. It was mainly me and Tier 3, to be fair. I had verbal diarrhea, I think. But we love it. So.
Just while we're sat here waiting, just to be ahead of the game, I've just put the Tier 2 check-in for next week live.
Wow, you are keen. Do you like Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi? No, not really.
Oh.
Especially the new version is even worse.
I agree with you. I liked Abu Dhabi, the old version. I don't like the new one.
It sort of feels like they've taken an overtaking opportunity out of it.
Yeah. Because
it's a very strange thing.
Yeah, who can brake late, who can get the drive, and who can brake late. And it seems to be, Donny's still on the grid, so I don't know if he's had a connection issue there, so he's going to line up with very cold tyres. But yeah, I think with Abu Dhabi, it was that who can be latest on the brakes, who can be brave. And I feel with the long sweeping corners they've got, it does, you're right, it takes away because it is such a higher speed. And I'm just
and also you can take multiple lines through that corner as well, so it's very hard to get an advantage.
Yes.
You know, even if the person you're kind of pressuring goes deep, they can kind of usually carry on at the same speed anyway. But anyway, let's talk about this track instead, shall we? That's probably more what people are after.
Yes, I think you're right, yeah. Well, to be fair, you're right with that 3 different lines. I was caught, I think, in the middle of, I think it was Chris Bailey and I'm going to say Xavier. I don't think it was Xavier. There was 3 of us all side by side through that corner. It was a little bit intense, to say the least. But you're right, let's go. Everyone on the intermediate tyres. We don't know what the weather's going to do. Will it change? Will it get better? Are we going to see a replica of qualifying? Oh, do not go anywhere, folks. It is going to get very, very exciting very, very soon as the second half, which I think was Winky back in the pack up a little bit. And they're all joining now to the back of the grid. Only Chelsea managed to disqualify himself. Oh, Johnny Smooth's done it now. So as we have the immersive version of the formation lap. So here we are, folks. We are now ready, and we're going to ride on board with Scott so we can see the lights. 3 lights are lit, 4 lights are lit, 5 lights are lit, and we go racing. Here we are in the very damp Brazil. Scott got an absolute flyer off the line, lost Infinity as well. Already alongside 38 into turn 1, goes on the outside, he gets a tap and he's round. Darcy Danny took the inside line and got away with it, but there's a few cars going a little bit wide through turn 2. Lost Infinity, one of the big losers. 38's managed to recover that half spin from the tap he's had. He's in 3rd. Brownlee's up to 4th. Smith had a great start. He was 90. He's now up to 5th. Gibbon in 6th. Winky and Johnny Smooth having a little battle, but Scott absolutely got their fly, but he's now got Baby Gav for company. Further down the order, Luke Shard. Saka's had a moment. Luke Shard's dropping down as well. Oh, and that's Danny. Danny had a moment to going up the hill, 2-7, and he ended up down the hill.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep an eye on what was happening at the back, and everyone was being quite careful, but there was a little bit of wheel banging happening, but nothing too major considering it's wet. Oh, blimey, that was Winky going right off track there in the end, in just before Bico de Pato.
Yeah, it was going a completely different line. We're talking about different racing lines, and that's a completely different one. I think Danny actually got a bit of a tap up the hill from 38. Scott took it very carefully, and I think he caught both the drivers behind out a little bit. Will we see it later on? We were waiting to see Satka having a bit of a mare. Who was that went very, very wide? That might have been Chelsea. Up the hill, had a moment. Satka's struggling, unfortunately. Hope he can get those tyres cooled down and get to the back of the pack. But this battle, they're in the midfield. The 38's really on the back of Scott as well now. Yeah,
I mean, the big loser at the moment, unfortunately, is RFC Danny. He's down 11 places, so he's got some work to do. Because obviously he had a good qualifying as well.
Yeah, he did exactly that. And we've got Roundy up 4, Smith up 5, Johnny Smooth, big winner, up 8 places, Winky up 7 places, Axel as well. The other Roundy is up 5, and Jordan Byrne from starting dead last, and now up to 17th spot.
Oh, RFC Danny just made a bit of an energetic, athletic move and ended up off the track again.
Oh dear. Maybe just getting a little bit desperate. Hopefully just keep that calm. There's a long, long way to go. You can't win it on lap 1, but you certainly can lose it. I feel like I'm starting to come out with random Murrayisms here.
Yeah, I was just saying that's a bit of plagiarism.
It really was.
We'll leave it.
Yes. we don't do anything PC or by the book, do we, in MRC?
So Scott's under a lot of pressure at the front from 38.
He is, and that's allowing Roundy to catch up as well. And that's the problem when you are in the lead, that you're the one that's got to pick the braking zones. Again, you've heard it all before, and it is difficult. You've got to pick the braking markers. You've got to, the first one to judge where the grip is, while the people behind can work off you and use you as well. Hopefully not as a brake, but definitely as a reference.
Yeah, it's yeah, you have to, especially when it's wet, you kind of feel like you have to sort of tiptoe to a certain degree and not push too much, but at the same time you can't afford not to, so it's a tricky position to be in. But having said that, there's also an advantage to not having anybody in front of you to distract you as well.
Yeah, exactly that. Smith, I think, Roundy went a little bit wide. Smith going round the outside of turn 11. What a move that is. And look at that, Johnny Smooth at the inside of 12 as well. Roundy's gone from 3rd to 5th in the space of, 1.5 corners.
Yeah, that's not normally an overtaking spot, is it?
No, neither of them are. And that's very brave there. And there were a couple of drivers going very, very wide up the hill. It is tricky in the wet. You want to go flat. Everything that you think is to go flat out up the hill. And in these tricky conditions, I found I wasn't really putting full throttle till pretty much the DRS line.
Yeah, it's that left-hand kink in the wet just drifts you out just onto the apron at the side of the track, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very easy to lose the back end there.
Yeah, I was being pretty cautious through there in qualifying.
Yeah, I was. Oh, Scott's gone wide outside of turn 4. 38's coming up alongside the side-by-side. He's got him. 38 takes the lead. And then what can Scott do? Now
he's got the reverse of the psychology, hasn't he?
Exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, read my mind exactly that. DRS Julie on the outside of turn 5. Is that going to bring a full safety car? It does.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Still raining at the moment as well. It's not eased off.
No, it hasn't. And I tell you, this is going to benefit Saka, who was a bit unfortunate in qualifying, and he's had a spin and he's quite a way back from the field, so at least hopefully he'll be able to get on to the back of these guys as well now, and he's still got all wings intact, so that's good news.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't know what the forecast is at this moment, because there could be some mileage at this point if you've got a wetter race to maybe look at a fresh set of inters just to take you that bit further, especially if you're further back.
How many do you get?
Well, it depends what you've used in quali, doesn't it? Which is why I was saying
does that?
about it's, depends. That's why you might not want to do too many laps or use too many fresh sets in qualifying, because obviously you can keep extra sets for the race then. But I mean, it's looking quite set in at the moment, isn't it? It doesn't seem to be. It's not like it's still raining as much as it was at the start, I think.
Yeah, we're going to run a ball with Jordan Byrne just to. We are under safety car conditions, of course, but to look at. Well, we're pretty much looking at the sky anyway. There's not a lot of blue breaking through up there, and it normally comes. I think usually comes first round that turn 4 area, where you can see the blue sky, and it does look very much set in that this light rain. So we could have that for the duration.
Yeah, it's a long race here in the wet as well, isn't it?
Oh yes, it doesn't have to test your awareness skills, and if you're running on a wheel, it doesn't have to test your shoulders as well. Any reaction times.
You need to work out more, mate. That's pretty soft, that really, isn't it?
I'm not saying it hurts. I'm just saying it keeps you alert.
Okay, we'll let you off. How long do we think the safety car is going to be out for? Still staying out this lap, that's for sure. The lights have just gone off.
No, they're still up. Still up.
Oh, that's strange. I could have sworn they just went off, but there we go. I was going to say that's a bit late.
That would be a late one. Very late call. I think Saka will get to the back of them this lap, so I think we could see it come in at the end of this lap. But I kept saying that in Tier 1, and then it always ended up... we had another lap after that, so... Yeah, I think Saka will catch up, so... we could potentially...
So who's out of position and we're going to expect to see moving? I guess we're going to... I think Lost Infinity, obviously he's lost quite a lot of spots. Do we think some of these people have deliberately run a dry setup and are struggling?
Well, there is that. Now, have they taken the risk to get the grid slot in qualifying and hope that it's going to be dry enough in the race?
Yeah, I mean, he and Danny obviously are a long way out of position. Chelsea as well. Yeah. Chelsea took quite a drop. Those guys could, if they're on a dry setup, if it starts to dry out, you could see quite a lot of movement happening. The thing is, I don't know about you, I found that it's quite hard to pull much of a lead on this track. The pack seems to stick together quite a lot more than other circuits. I guess that's because the DRS is very effective here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's the infield section is more of a, because the tight corners, it's like a point and squirt. It's a very much a short straight, if you like, between each corner. They come out quite thick and fast, and they are quite slow. So you're right, to build a big lead is difficult. And there we are. It is coming in this lap. So 38 is the de facto safety car, and I think it may be easier for those who've got the right setup on to create a gap and to come through in the damp and wet conditions if you've got that right setup, whereas the dry is on the opposite side, where they normally say wet is an equaliser. It's opposite, I find here, that the dry is more of an equaliser.
Yeah, I think it's trying to find traction out of some of those slow corners in the wet is kind of challenging, isn't it? And even some of the fast ones, actually.
Yeah, it's 38's gone already. He's gone very, very early as he caught Scott napping a little bit. Smith is all trying to have a defend from Johnny Smooth, but 0.6 of a second from 38 already from Scott, as we've got a bit of side-by-side action through turn 1 and 2, and that is Smith, Johnny Smooth. There's been a collision with Randy and Johnny Smooth.
They've both got away with that, but they're both going to live to fight another day, but it's cost them quite badly in terms of time.
Oh, definitely. Big time.
So now position.
Gibnall finds himself up in 4th. Winky up there in 5th. Lost Infinity now gaining those positions back into 6th. I think you're right. The Roundy brothers both know they're very strong racers, so I think you could see them come back through. Danny, you've mentioned as well, Infinity's going to be strong, but you're right. What is the setup? It's not stopped raining, and
no,
I think Scott's gone more of a dry setup, and 38's gone for that intermediate, whether it's a little bit less on the differential, a little bit higher wings. I don't think it's wet enough for the major changes of ride height at this point.
We're not even quarter of the way through the race yet, though, so there's still a long time for it to change.
Well, yes, there is, but 38, 1.3 seconds. He now has the lead to cross over the line. Smith.
Oh, I was just watching Axel. He just, we were talking about running wide on that left-hand kink.
Yeah.
Blimey, he nearly hit the wall.
Oh, yeah, that's not advisable. Want to keep away from those hard things at the side of the track. Gordon Burns having a battle with all kicks further down, side by side into turn 1. Oates, he's got the inside line, but now at turn 2, just about enough room given. He goes wide, but is that going to now allow Jordan Byrne to run back through 3? Oh, a little bit slippy as well for Oates. That's allowed the Alpine alongside, and away he goes up into 15th. That was some good battling. The Ferrari going straight on ahead.
Luke Chard and Necromancer doing the same. They Luke Chard didn't manage to. Oh, he's got it now. He's got it on the exit.
Yeah, Necromancer went very, very wide. As Axel had a moment, he has up the hill. Oh, the Aston Martin, not a good one for him. He's now down to 16th. He finds himself.
That's a tricky part of the track, isn't it? Even in the drive, you put too much throttle in through that uphill right-hander, you just find yourself on the grass in the middle of the track.
Yeah, and it's one if you're, like you say, in the drive, because of the speed difference that you're carrying, you will find yourself on, well, just sliding all the way through turn 8. To be fair,
38 is disappearing off up the street at the moment.
Yeah, but the gap's still 1.3, so Scott's kind of matched him that last lap. But let's have a quick look at the telemetry. Oh, he's still got 84% of his ERS. Smith's got 92%. 38 still got his 80 as well. So I wondered if Scott was using quite a bit to defend from Smith, but not at this stage. As now, something's happened in sector 1 because 38's just gained a second in that first sector. Wow. That's quick.
Yeah, I can't see that the track definitely isn't. It's definitely still raining. It's not drying out. So obviously, just I guess the fuel load starts dropping off around now. I think it's about lap 15 where you start really noticing it. But there's going to be significantly less fuel on board than there has been. And I don't know about you. Sometimes in the wet, you have a sudden realization that you can go a bit quicker.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You just think, I've been cautious, and you think, well, okay, it's the back's not stepping out, the front's okay, and you just think, okay, I'll try and push it, and then you get the heat into the tyres, which will start having now after those 2 racing laps, as 38 puts another fastest lap in. The man is absolutely on a mission. But yeah, you just think, okay, well, there's grip, I've got the heat, and let's go for it, and you find then suddenly you can pull that second that 38's doing and do those lap times and not be at any kind of risk, the back end stepping out or braking yourself, because you get your braking points really nicely and you know exactly where you are. Yeah,
I mean at the moment Scott is using very minimal ERS, like you were saying. He's actually at 100% right now.
Wow.
So 38's backed off in terms of his ERS use as well, actually. He's back up to nearly 100% as well. So those two guys are obviously not having to work that hard.
So it's just looking, we're on board with Gibb, but looking forwards at Smith, who had a serious moment through outside of turn 9, and that's allowed Gibb on to really close. Couldn't make a headway though, but it seems to be starting to get a little bit of a train going on behind Scott at the moment.
Yeah, and Lost Infinity just went really wide and Beaker to Pato, and actually ended up on the grass, so he's just dropped off the back of those 3 slightly.
Yeah, he's got. Oh, that's Winky! Winky got it through up the hill, and he's lost his front wing. Oh, Willy Winkle! What's happening? It's triggered a full safety car,
and he's going to have to do a whole lap without that front wing. Unfortunately, though, having said that, at least he's got the safety car to do it under.
Yes, but at least he'll be able to get to the back. Who's pitted there? Axel's pitted. Managed to dive in there. So has Luke Chard. And this is a point where you think, okay, it's stopped raining.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I literally took the words out of my mouth. I was looking at the sky just now before that accident, thinking it was brightening up, and it has, within the last minute or two, stopped raining.
Yeah, so on that basis...
Oh,
Luke Chard's gone for the hard tyres.
Oh, I mean, I can see why.
Yeah.
It's the safe option to the end, but a set of mediums will get you to the end from here easily.
Yeah, they would. And that's a brave, brave man. Axel's gone for another set of inters. But with it stopping raining...
I'd be tempted. That could be
yeah.
a really smart move. 3 laps under the safety car, it could be quite different conditions with the way the game works.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, okay, it won't be dry that much. It will be difficult. But, yeah, well, actually, 38's now diving at the pit, so our leader is now deciding to pit. He's built up about a 5-second gap under the safety car with a Delta. Scott's following him. Smith's staying out. So we're going to keep on board with 38 and see what tyres that he puts on.
I'll have a look at Scott.
It's the hard tyres.
And Scott as well.
Yeah. So, let's have a look. Is everyone else putting the hard tyres on? Winky's doing the same. Well, you're right. 3 laps on the safety car. Plus, then, if it stopped raining, it will dry up a little bit, as we know how quickly it dries up in the game. It's not really relative to real life in that respect. So,
I wouldn't want to be switching those hard tyres on at the moment, though.
No.
Such hard work on a drying track to get the hard tyres temperature up.
Yep, and Scott did go off track as well at turn 4. Necromancer went past him. But if Scott was off track, then it would be okay. You don't get that illegal overtake.
Oh, he's spinning. Scott's just spun.
Oh, yes, he's gone down the bank and down the bank. That's what you're talking about, exactly that to say. And I think the way he's taking the way back, will he get the thing for corner cutting? How did you get away with that, Scott? So, if you go slow through there, you normally get the penalty. Yeah, you're right. So trying to turn those tyres on. How's 38 managing? Well, he's in the crocodile now. So you're just gonna be patient. I think that is the key.
You can actually see his tyre temps at them. He's got tyre temps in the 70s on those hards at the moment, which is a good 10 degrees below the beginning of the operating window. So they are cold, obviously under the safety car. And they're going to be staying cold for a bit, I suspect. The thing is, I mean, the medium, even on a full fuel load, the medium will do 24 to 25 laps on this track, on a 50% race. So the hard is kind of a little bit unnecessary, really, because with you've lost a third of the fuel at this point. The mediums would easily go to the end now.
Yeah, they would. I think you're right. As Luke Shard's had a moment as well. He's now dropped back down to 19th spot, so not the greatest opening stint for the Mercedes boys at this moment in time.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to see what happens, really. I mean, the thing is, if everybody now decides to dive into the pits to get a set of tyres, those guys on the hards, whatever happens, they're all going to be at the front. It's whether the people behind stick on the mediums and can outpace them. Because, I mean, the thing is, I mean, what I discovered with a lot of experimenting was that even a really worn set of mediums was still as quick as a set of hards. So the time deg wasn't very significant. And in the same way, the soft, you can run the soft for a long time before it starts slowing down to be into the hard window. So that's I mean, my plan had been to do a 24 lap first stint on the mediums and then go softs, but unfortunately I was denied that opportunity.
Yeah, you're right with that. I started the race on the hards and was keeping pace with all the guys ahead on the mediums, and then started after about lap 11, lap 12. They still felt really good and started kind of making headway and edging back at the time I'd kind of naturally lost being in the traffic. So and you're right, the offset between both isn't or wasn't huge.
No, I mean, but the way I worked it out was I looked at how far you'd be ahead after the point at which the tyres started to degrade and how much time you'd start losing to the cars you pulled away from, and it was still kind of above the line. It was still kind of beneficial to be on a more worn, softer tyre than it was on a less worn, harder one, from what I could see. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, these guys are going to have to fight hard to keep themselves moving. I mean, Scott's actually fallen behind Winky, hasn't he?
He has. He's had another moment somewhere now. He's going into turn 4.
Oh, 38's just had a moment. He's off the track now.
Oh, he is. He is.
So he's just... he nearly had a Winky enema then.
He did not, didn't he?
Nearly had a Winky right up his rear.
That's Luke's gone in the pit, so he's now gone to a set of medium tyres. He had dropped quite far back, so... Is he listening? Could be.
Well, I mean, what we now have, quite interestingly, is that all of the hard runners are now nose to tail through the field there.
Yeah, Axel's got a moment as well. The safety car, though, is not waiting any longer. The safety car will go in this lap as Hotcakes and Necromancer had a passing each other. I'm not sure what happened there. So, Smith now was going to lead us away on the intermediate tyres.
I'm going to watch the guys on hards further back.
Sounds good. Now he takes the wider line where he thinks there might be grip and uses the banking, and it seems to work. He's got half a second. Now is he going to pick his braking point into turn 1? How's the turning? Looks pretty good. He actually shifts down to second there after corner exit, but he gets a bit slappy. Oh, he gets a drift through turn 3. We've seen something further back. What's happened?
Winky has just there's carnage. There's just cars all over the place.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, he stood on the stop pedal and it didn't stop. He just carried on straight into the back of 2 cars in front of him.
Oh no! And that's it. That's the thing. It's the tyres are cold, and it's just you don't know where to brake. And Scott's still struggling on those hard compound tyres. Has not got the heat. Roundy's had him on. What's happened to Roundy? And he's gone. He's doing pirouettes on the grass. Oh no, he's lost at the top of the hill, and that's what it does. It slides you that far forward, and he's on the intermediate tyres as well. Let's have a quick look at those tyres, folks, because with some people swapping and changing, the lead hard tyre is 38 now in 15th place. So really struggling. Oh, it was Luke Shaddy. He's not gone. He's gone back onto the intermediates, did Luke?
Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean the track is still clearly very wet. Despite it not raining, I mean those tyres are just going to feel horrible at the moment. His tyre temperatures are still in the 70s, and he's struggling to get out of Magulio. His tyres are 78 degrees. I just happen to be on board with him, and I can see it over his shoulder. And we've also got Haas spun on the pit straight.
That's Safka, unfortunately, but we saw a great move from Lost Infinity into turn 1 on Gibbon. And he's also, onto Johnny Smooth, and he's also now got, I'm getting confused, hang on, who do we see? Yes, it was Lost Infinity onto Johnny Smooth, so it was actually on Gibbon, and Johnny Smooth now got past. That's why I'm getting confused. There's so many red cars. It's an Alfa Romeo 2 and 3 at the moment. There's a car going round in sector 1, potentially it's all cleared now, so all good. And now Danny on the fight back, now up to 5th. After safety cars and pit stops, etc. And he is all over the back of Gibbon now. Both on the intermediate tyres, both 15 laps usage. But look at Danny, he's just trying different lines, trying round the outside of 11. Oh, a little bit of a tap through Young Cow. But how's his pace up the hill? US will, well, it's not going to be enabled just yet. Gibbon goes a little bit wide, but look at the straight line speed on McLaren. That was easy.
Well, I'm watching further back with this, what's happening with the guys on hards. 38 looks more comfortable under braking. Winky looks more comfortable under braking than 38 and seems to close up on him quite a lot on the brakes. And I've just watched, unfortunately, Scott just was tapped quite hard from behind by Satka and spun again.
Oh no, that's unlucky.
And he'd been making really good progress. He'd got up to being just 1.7 behind Winky, and I don't know whether you saw, but when the safety car went in, Scott was still way around the track. He was just coming onto the start-finish straight as the first guys were crossing the line.
Yeah, and Luke Shaw was the same, but he's on the intermediate tyres, and he's found his way up to 16th already. That gap between Necromancer and 38, 14 seconds. But the previous leader, Smith, he's pitted and come out on another set of the intermediate tyres, so it still doesn't feel like the hards are good enough at this moment in time. Winky now gets 3 second penalty, only 4 drivers now with 3 seconds worth of penalties at this stage of the race.
Yeah, he turned into 3 and just didn't have any front end, and he just went straight off the track, basically. I think these hards are not working at all as it stands.
Yeah, if you're going to try and risk it, Lost Infinity pits now, previous leader, so everyone's now starting to bail. If they're going for another Inters, it is that point where they are meant to last half a race. It does decide that they don't go the full race distance and do go about halfway before the start. Lost Infinity's put the hards on as well.
I'm watching 38's time against Necromancer, and he's lost nearly 2 seconds just in this lap. Yeah,
they're not the ones to be on. If anything, I would risk it on the hard tyres and I'm going to do soft. Oh, what was that? That's RC Danny having a fight for the lead with Johnny Smooth. He is absolutely, and there's a Ferrari, get his nose in nearly, Gibbon nearly sticks his nose in, manages to stop the car where the gap was ever closing. It was never going to happen. But if you're going to go on a dry tyre, I would risk it on mediums, if anything. Look at this one. Oh! Danny tried it round the outside of 10, but that was always going to close as well, and that's allowed Gibbon to go on the outside and goes wide, and then 38, Danny's on the inside and takes it back. This is great racing. That's allowed both the Red Bulls now to close, and Chelsea and Smith are really in touching distance now and looking interested. Chelsea, as he got the run on Gibbon up the straight, he goes for the wider line. Everyone, no DRS, just pure slipstream and pure pace at this moment. As I see Danny gone a little bit deep, it wasn't, it was Johnny Smooth that went deep. Danny all over the back, he's going to try and go on the outside of 3. He's not, but look at the grip he seems to have front and rear there. Smith now on those fresh mediums puts the fastest lap in of the race. A couple of drivers pitting for hard tyres. Oh, big hit from Danny up the back of Johnny Smooth there. Kind of forces him wide, and now Danny takes the lead.
I still don't think these hards are working at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for
Lost Infinity. He's Lost Infinity.
Oh, 38's sure out.
I didn't see that happen. Oh,
and we've got another safety car.
We have, yeah. Must have just his second happened.
Scott's pitted.
Oh, yeah, he's on the start-finish straight.
Yeah, I was trying to look from Scott before he dived into the pits and see if it was. I think it was, yeah.
He's just after the pit entrance.
Oh, yes, you can see it just in the distance there. Oh, it was Axel decided he was going to pit and then didn't pit. Yeah, car Saka in the middle of the track.
Saka has no front wing, and he was running quite close on track to 38, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. Not sure that one.
Scott has changed back to Inters.
Yeah, it is too slippy for those hards now. Oh, now we're starting to see a lot of the front runners come in. Smith is the only one. Smith hasn't pitted, but I think he was behind his teammates, so he couldn't pit this lap. So he is now going to have to he'll caught by the safety car. Now, medium tyres. Oh, heck, this is a mix. So we've got Danny and Johnny Smooth on the Inters, and now medium tyres.
I think there's some different opinions at the moment. Yeah. Having said that, none of those people were on dry tyres before, were they?
No, they weren't.
But it could be that it's temperature that makes the difference.
And you're going to get that and get more grip in the mediums. Roundy's put the mediums on as well.
Yeah, we've suddenly got 4 people out there on mediums. We've got Lost Infinity on a relatively new set of hards. We've got Jackster on new hards. And then we've got people like Danny and Scott have just gone on to new Inters. So,
yeah.
Very interesting.
Well, if you wanted drugs, you've got it. If you wanted confusion, well, we've got it.
At the moment, this feels kind of like a tombola. I feel like, someone could just reach in and choose, like, number 7, Gibbon, has won the race. You know what I mean? It sort of could go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly that. And this goes back to what we said at the start of the show, that everybody, all the tiers now, you used to be able to call it, or roughly call it. Now, absolutely no chance.
Yeah, but I mean, this in particular, with all these mixture of tyre ages, types, and temperatures.
Johnny Smith's come back into the
happen.
pits. He put the intermediates on. What is he going to pit now? We're going to ride on board, see what he puts on. Is he going to go with a set of mediums? He does.
Yeah, you see, I mean, what I would be doing at this point is asking the engineer, because he will tell you pretty accurately whether it's the right side of the crossover or not to go on to dries. Won't tell you what, ideally, what the best compound is to be on to get the best out of the track. But if you start saying we're at the crossover point, we're not sure anymore, that's normally the time to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's either DRS is enabled, is when you go, or try and do it the lap before if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly on that radio button. I just bash it all the time, asking what's the tyre situation constantly.
Yeah, I can't think that far ahead. I can't multitask very well.
Under safety car, I mean.
Yeah.
Especially because you've got a bit more time to think about it. I do find it a bit weird that calling the engineer Mark. Because it just feels a bit odd.
Well, we are all used to Jeff, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, solid, dependable engineer name. Mark, I mean, whoever has had a race engineer called Mark? Oh, hang on, Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, Mark in the game was Kimi Räikkönen's engineer, wasn't he?
It was,
or one of his engineers.
What's it called? Elvis. That was it.
Yes.
Yes.
Who I used to watch his YouTube channel, but it got very boring and I stopped watching it.
I suppose if you're out the game, there's not much else to go with. Now, actually, our leader now has decided to pit.
Yeah.
So he's going to drop right the way down to about 15th. He's going to drop down to.
I think everyone's coming off the Inters now.
They are. It does seem to be that way. Only Smith's sticking on them because he's only 5 laps. But that track is now starting to look rather dry.
Yeah, you're starting to see tyre marks on the tarmac and stuff, aren't you? Which you don't get to see otherwise.
There's a few damp patches you can see down the Retro Foster there. That there is a little bit of dry patches. Of wet patches. I think those who
time is full dry.
The mediums I think are the tyre to be on.
Yeah, for sure.
But Necromancer's just pit, and he's put another set of Inters on.
Is that a mistake though?
Potentially.
It's very easily done. You kind of think, I need to jump into the pits, and then you forget that you actually need to change the tyres on screen.
Yeah, that's happened many, many times to quite a few people, even at the top guys. It's happened to.
I've done it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I didn't hear mention of me. you mentioned lots of people and the top guys. I was like, well, it happens to the intermediate guys as well. So what's going to happen here then? Because Smith surely is going to be looking and thinking, I am now on officially the wrong tyres.
Yeah, that's with the safety car coming in this lap. I think the back two there, Sacco and Scott, will catch up towards as it before. They actually do hit the green light and go, but when will Smith go? Is he going to go quite early? Is he going to go late? He's just trying to get the last little bit of heat in his tyres. Or is he going to time at the pits? When's he going to go? He goes now. Let's have a look. The gap. He's just gone straight to the pits.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do, though.
It was. Now Chelsea then. That was the one. Probably everybody took him by surprise. Unexpectedly, everybody on the intermediates has now pitted. Necromancer's gone back in again. We thought he might do. We've got a
lot
few
of people
movers
deep into turn one.
Yeah, just searching, scrambling for that grip. Luke Short. Now he's found himself up there. Winky's gone. Who's that that's gone? It's a Haas in the back, and that was Saka.
No, it was Winky, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then a Haas one as well. That was Saka. I think it was Saka this one. I could be wrong. Yeah, it was.
No, Saka's still.
In the pit.
Yeah, Winky's the one who's in the wall.
He is, and he's actually at the exit of the pit lane as well.
I think the thing is, because the safety car's just come in, it's not going to come back out again.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think it'll clear, which it has done. It's now gone green. They've cleared it away before the car. It's not necessarily, we do see that if the cars are far enough round the track that it will it will clear itself and not need another safety car. But I think we've seen it in Tier 1 where we've had about half a lap or a lap of racing and then the safety cars come back out again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how, the field is bunched up and the safety cars just come in. Then normally it works out how long it's going to be before somebody gets back to that spot again, doesn't it, basically?
It does, yeah. I'll tell you what, now this is going to suit your real quick guys, people like Scott who were quick in the dry side, Lost Infinity as well. This is going to be very, very quick as Gibban goes very, very wide on the exit of turn 3 and slides along the curb.
There's now a Williams in the pit wall.
Ooh, that'll be Donny Osmond. I think it is. It's Donny Osmond. He's gone round the exit of turn 3 as well, and he's got a very fast Smith coming quickly. He does. There he goes. Lost Infinity with another penalty. But he was keeping touch. I was trying to watch that gap with him being on the hard tyres. How close he's going to keep to those front runners, and he's keeping touch. Just over second 1.3 back. So
I'm just watching Scott, who, like you say, is definitely keen to get on the move. He's he's all over the back of Jackster right now.
Yep. And Danny's just gone through. Oh, it's Axel that's gone round. It's the Aston Martin. The Roundy brothers are having a safari, you'd have to say. They're all over the place, unfortunately, today. But
I think Scott's going to get the move done here.
Yep, we're right on board. As the Ferrari goes left, then he goes right. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? It's Scott with a grippier tyre. Now DRS is enabled. We are definitely dry enough. And he does. Scott definitely get that move done nice and neat into turn 1. Jackson didn't necessarily fight. Scott's on the quicker tyres. But he does have the DRS, and he's going back at him into turn 4. He's got the inside line. And just about makes it, but as he gone too deep, Scott comes back along the inside and cuts back. Great racing.
Yeah, that's that medium tyre advantage, isn't it, on the exit of the corner?
Yeah, big time. Definitely. Bergen's in the chat. Nice to see you, Bergen. Driver coach, I think, must be to Jordan. Have to correct me. I hope I'm right on that one.
Third, yeah.
Yeah, running in third currently. So.
And he's looking like he's looking quite feisty back there.
Yeah, so we're on board with him now, and he's a lot closer to. Well, he's got the DRS open. Has that Ferrari ahead got the DRS?
Yeah, it has.
Oh, yeah. It does. I just couldn't see it from a distance. But he's a lot closer, and now the lap times we are going to see tumble down as the drivers get the heat in the tyres. We are on dry now. As Lost Infinity has had a moment. Oh, he let his teammate through. If he has let his teammate through, that is some very good team wires, and I like that a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, Johnny Smooth's going to be faster on those mediums for sure, because they're similar ages, so there's not going to be an awful lot to call between them in terms of. It's not like either of them are going to be struggling for where to the end, is it?
No, is it? Oh, it's Donny Osmond's gone. We've got another safety car again. I'm not sure who that. Oh, there it is at the edge of turn 3. Donny Osmond went on. Satka that's involved with that one. Satka's involved there, and there we see on the right hand side. That will be the Williams of Donny Osmond. Satka, has he got a wing on the Haas? He hasn't. There's no wing on his Haas again. So, are we going to see any more pit stops? You would have to probably hesitate to guess on no. Oh, Zordy gets a drive through. Speeding under the safety car, and Axel as well.
Unfortunately, Axel's day is going from bad to worse, isn't it, I'm afraid?
Yeah, this is one he wants to forget and just wants to see the end of that checkered flag as quickly as possible. Yeah,
there's still 10 laps left. We've still got 10 laps of this race left. There's still a lot of racing to go. I mean, it's not impossible to turn things around even from this point. I mean, in fact, Axel is going to make 3 places, 4 places, 5 places if he stays out at the moment.
He's pitted, but I wonder. Yes, they are. They're pitting for the soft tyres. They're going to catch the back of the pack.
Makes sense.
Not lose much in the way of spaces. Places even, not spaces, but and then have the quicker tyre, which will be nice and comfortable towards the end as well. So, are we going to see these guys come through? We've already seen Scott on those mediums. What a stormer he's had as soon as we went green from the safety car. They went down in like 15th and he's up to 7th already.
Oh, I'd be feeling a bit uncomfortable if I was the back of the top 10 at the moment.
Yeah, I would definitely.
I think there's going to be a lot of moving around happening in this order in this last quarter of the race. Yeah, maybe even further up than that. You never know. Depends how quickly. Yeah, I don't know. Lost Infinity's going to struggle to get those. Lost Infinity and Jackster are both on the hards. They're going to take a couple of laps to get back up to temperature again.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly that. Thinking, okay, yeah, you're thinking, okay, what about the guys the last stage, the top 10? It's those guys in the hards. They're going to be nervously looking over their shoulder now, you would have to say.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Lost Infinity going to end up being a roadblock, which makes life even harder for Danny, Scott, Smith, Jackster, Ollie T, to those guys behind on the softs.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. DRS, of course, we're not going to now have at least for another 2 racing laps before we start Satka's pitted for another new nose. The house will be running out of them. Bergen said, oh, he's a fellow Morecambe. Aye, he's a fellow cockle picker. That explains it.
And as Chris Bailey has just said, it's worth giving a shout out to Gibb for doing 2 races in a row this evening as well.
Yeah, and he's running in second and running really well. He was pressuring Chelsea as well before the safety car came out.
And the wet races are so much more focus demanding, aren't they? They take a lot out of you.
It is, yeah. And it's one that you're so used to it. You get used to that through the race, and then as soon as you come to going onto a dry track, you think, oh, hang on, I've got grip here that I didn't have before, and it takes a few laps to adjust.
It does. So we're looking ahead to obviously the last real life weekend of the year as well, aren't we?
Yes, as well, coming up this season. This weekend, I should say. It's one where you think it's an anticlimax, but at the same time, I think there's a lot to play for, especially in the Constructors' Championships.
Well, I mean, it's got to be said. I mean, Merck were not expected to be quick here in Brazil. Safety cars coming in, but they're good on smooth tracks as well. So, could Abu Dhabi be a reverse of expectations?
Potentially, I think with the high speeds, the long straights that it's got, I think they'll be strong in the last sector, but I think with the higher top speed, the Red Bull will edge it. I think they'll still be strong.
You could have said that here as well, though.
Well, it did, yeah. Because now Chelsea in the Red Bull, speaking of Red Bulls, does go. It went quite late, actually, than what we've seen, but that's good tactic. Didn't want to give the slipstream to Johnny Smooth. Johnny Smooth. What a move on the Gibbon jumps. I look back and I just did not expect to see him there. That was a very late break, very brave on the brakes. Didn't Gibbon saw it coming, but look at Johnny Smooth in a straight line. He's going to have a look at the turn 4. He's not, but look at it. Gibbon goes wide a little bit, and Johnny Smooth's got through. Got Jordan Byrne under pressure as well, so Johnny Smooth's gained 2 places off that restart. He's really been switched on, and now we've got RFC Danny all at the back of the Alpine. We lost Infinity. Scott's already gained a place. Scott's now all over the back of the other Alfa Romeo on the hard tyres, so he's going to be really pushing hard. And don't forget, we've got those Axel and Audi have now served their drive-through penalties. So look at that. Lost of it, he goes very deep. Scott's going to see that. He's going to know he's going to be compromised down through 11. But nothing he can do while he gathers himself at turn 12. But will he be hampered? What's happened there? Chelsea's gone round the lead. It's gone round outside of 12.
Oh, how disappointing. That's a shame, isn't it?
Going to come back up to Scott. We know he's quick in a straight line, and he gets the move done. No DRS needed, and he gets past Lost Infinity back up into the podium places. Now chasing down the top 2. We've got the 2 J's, Johnny Smooth, Jordan Byrne, 1 and 2.
The back end of the top 10 now has 3 of those soft runners in it.
Oh, good spot.
Roundy's right up to 7th, and he's right on the back of Jackster. He's like the 2 soft runners behind Jackster have got so much more grip.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. Smith's actually all over the back. or Roundy nearly going in the back of each other, such as the speed difference that they've got going up the hill and the way they can carry the speed. But look, this Roundy's going to try and go. Is he going to go around the outside of turn 9? He's trying it. Is he going to have the grip? But you've got to be careful with the other soft tyre runner going alongside him at that side as well. But he's gone from attacking to defending. Oh! Smith's gone off.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was Smith, I would actually just give Roundy a chance to get past Jackster, and therefore probably create an opportunity for himself to get past Jackster, because they're going to cost each other time fighting behind him.
Which, unfortunately, Smith did do that. He's not too far off, though, so he will come back at him. Didn't lose a place. Look at Roundy now. Is he trying? Whoa! That was a very early break from Jackster, and that's... well, I think it was an early break. We just nipped on board with Roundy, and next thing you know, the Ferrari's in front.
He's damaged.
He will be.
Yeah, he's got a front wing end plate missing.
Oh my days. Yeah, he does. So we've got a wounded Aston. But what have we got? We're going to have to cut away from that for now. Let's have a look at the top. So we've still got Lost Infinity still all over the back of Scott. He's got those tyres now warmed up a little bit. Scott goes a little bit deep through 8. That's allowing Lost Infinity. But Scott just outside of that DRS to Jordan Byrne, who's well within the DRS of Johnny Ruff, as Mark likes to call him.
Can Scott close up a little bit on? He's right on the verge of the DRS zone for Jordan.
I think that was the detection point. Now, is he going to get it? We'll have to see. He does.
There you go.
He did, and he pulled out that gap to Lost Infinity as well in the last 2 corners as well. So he's not going to feel pressured from that as he sets the fastest lap of the race as he does it.
Yeah, and he and Jordan Byrne have closed right up on Johnny Smooth.
Yeah. Here's Jordan going to have, but Jordan's got a 3-second time penalty. Let's have a quick look at the penalty as well. We're looking at 3 seconds. That's really going to hamper it. He should potentially get... Oh, he's nearly having a look on the inside of turn 4, but is he going to still get the podium places at this stage? Smith could potentially jump him to that podium spot. Still 4 more racing laps to go. And don't forget, folks, your MRC racing week doesn't end there. We've still got 100% full race distance to go on Friday night for MRCX. So that'll be here from 7:30 in the evening. So don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, get your notifications ready for that live stream event. All drivers from all 4 tiers will be on the same circuit. Are we going to get these mixed weather conditions? Are we going to have full dries? Well, join us, find out.
It's all about to pop off at the front.
It is. We've got Jordan with the DRS open, Scott with the DRS open, but Scott's got so much more straight line speed. He's just breezed past 1. Is he going to have a look at 2? Jordan's not giving this up, but Jordan goes wide. There's a little bit of contact. There's 3 contacts through there. There's a little tap.
I think Scott's just got so much more speed that he's,
is he going to have a look at the turn 4? Sorry, man, he's going to have a look at the turn 4. He does. Johnny Smooth goes a little bit wide. Got a little bit jumpy, thinking Scott was going to be there, and he wasn't quite. Oh, Scott just backs out. Wisely moved, wisely done.
Yeah, I mean, just be patient, Scott. You're going to get him on the DRS on the next lap anyway.
Yeah, pretty much he is, isn't he? But this is, you'd have to say, currently... Actually, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not jinxing it. Well, move on. Move on. I'm just looking on the steering wheels at the the ERS that's left. Johnny Smooth's got a actually, let's just bring up the telemetry.
25%.
25%. Scott's got just 30. A bit higher. And Jordan Byrne had nothing left coming out of turn 3, and he's recouped that 21%, which is roughly what you get per lap here. So let's have a look at Scott. He's now well within. He's got the DRS wide open. Doesn't need to use the overtake button, but he is going to use a little bit of it coming down the straight. Is he going to get the move done? He does it as they cross over the start-finish line. Easily done into turn 1. What can Johnny Smooth do about Jordan Byrne, who gets a little bit up over the curves in turn 1, so that's going to hamper him. But he's now got Lost Infinity to think about, and Smith for company as well. Scott's ERS light is flashing away. I think they're all flashing down there. They're using that much ERS to try to race each other, to try to keep ahead, to try to defend. Jordan Byrne, 8%. Lost Infinity, 8%. 8% for Smith as well.
Jordan Byrne and Lost Infinity is a battle for position as well, because they've both got the same penalties. But I don't think either of them are going to be on the podium.
No, I think you're right. They will drop down, and all Smith needs to do is keep with those two to get the podium, but he'll want to get the move done. He'll want to get past, and he'll want to get after Johnny Smooth, who... I don't know if he's losing a bit of grip on those tyres. Let's have a quick look at those tyres. There we are. 14 laps on his... 13, 14 laps. It still should be okay, though.
Oh, Jordan Burns got a much better run out of Magulio. And
he has, and now Johnny Smooth's got his teammate for company. Going to be able to do anything about it. Is Lost Infinity going to try and make a move up the inside? He does, under the brakes. Johnny Smooth sees him coming. Good awareness, but he's not going to back out. Just there, Lost Infinity goes very, very wide though, over the bumps. Is that going to allow a run back for Johnny Smooth? Again, the DRS, all within the DRS, which Scott's broken the DRS, however. But, oh, look at this, Johnny Smooth going to have a look at the braking into turn 4, just about to keep the car on track, doesn't what he does. What a move on his teammate that was, and I would have to say, quite important.
Well, Lost Infinity's got 3-second penalty as well, so...
I think he wants to try to get past. He doesn't want to be under pressure from Smith, which is even more for position.
This is true, yeah. I mean, really, the team game here would be for Lost Infinity to just play tail marker, wouldn't it, at the moment?
It would, yeah. Oh, Johnny Smooth breaks on the grass almost. And it's also that gap he's got to do with Jordan Byrne as well. And you don't know if Scott's on any warnings as well. If suddenly Scott gets a 3-second penalty, then it's all up in the air.
I was just thinking the same thing. If he did get one now, he's only got half a second's grace.
Yeah. And that's what's going to be... But look at this, the Alfa Romeo still side by side. Jonathan Finney's got past again. There are absolutely no team orders here. And this could potentially cost Johnny Smooth... well, it won't cost him a podium, but it could potentially cost him second place. And Johnny Smooth now got the penalty!
Well, this is, yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So at the moment, this is making a right mess of the podium, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to work out the gap. 1, 6, 2, 9. Well, Smith's definitely got a podium. It depends on where. That gap at the lead as well has also closed down to less than a second. Scott just needs to get a good run out of Junckau and up the hill. He'll be using whatever is left of his ERS. Jordan Byrne doing exactly the same, but trying to close. Oh, Smith's retired in the pits.
Jordan and Scott have got exactly the same amount of ERS left, pretty much, both on about 20%.
Well, and this is it. Scott's going to be
and
using
he's
up
right
the hill.
up behind him, but he's
half a second. Is it going to be close enough?
It's not going to happen though, is it? It's lap 36.
It's not. There it is. Scott, our pole sitter, was last at one point in that race. Comes back, takes the victory. Jordan Byrne will finish second. Smith finishes third after penalties. Lost Infinity finishes ahead of his teammate Johnny Smooth in fourth and fifth. Chelsea will finish in sixth. Roundy, after going exploring downtown Sao Paulo, is now finishes in seventh. The other Mercedes, good recovery as well from Luke. He finishes in eighth. RC Danny in ninth after all that. Necromancer does get a point in 10th. Jackster in 11th. Gibbon, unlucky day for him, in 12th. Axel, the other roundie, in 13th. O'Kex is going to finish in 14th spot. When he crosses the line, which he does now, and the last of the finishers actually finishes ahead, I think it was, of Axel due to penalties.
Well, I mean, there was some pretty amazing performances on the front of that race.
Oh, that's for you, absolutely incredible.
The game's given Jordan driver of the day. I mean, he started 18th.
Wow, really? That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge turnaround. I mean, it's I don't know I don't know who you feel is your driver of the day, but I mean, for me it's hard to. Although Scott obviously did start on the podium, he started on pole. I mean, he's finished on the top of the podium. He had to work very hard for that, and also let's not forget that cool as a cucumber 1 lap run to getting pole position in qualifying as well.
Exactly, yeah. I'm torn between Jordan and Scott.
Yeah, me too.
As much as Scott's comeback was something else, I think I'm going to have to go with Jordan. To come from the back of the grid, avoid the collisions, avoid the spins, avoid the carnage, pit at the right time, only did one stop. So stayed on those intermediates when everyone else was pitting, going on hards, going on mediums, going on hards again, going on intermediates again. Jordan kept his cool and did that one stop onto those medium tyres, and I think that's more than deserved. I think for my personal drive of the day.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I mean, I'm tempted to disagree and say Scott, but it's such a close thing. But I think on this occasion, Jordan deserves it.
Yeah, I think he does. So Scott takes the victory. Jordan Byrne is in second. Smith F1 is in third. Lost Infinity ahead of his teammate in fourth and fifth. Chelsea in sixth. Roundy in seventh. Luke Shard in eighth. RC Danny in ninth. Necromancer in 10th, and then scrolling down so we get the rest, 6 DNFs this race. Mixed conditions all the way through qualifying and the race, and that was a fantastic Tier 4 race.
It was, yeah. There was a. I mean, that battle at the front. That just went on and on, didn't it? For that whole last period after the final safety car, it was just a constant fight between 4 drivers, really.
Yeah, and it was one of those that the battle at the front didn't stop throughout. It was just different people taking part. We had Chelsea up there. One point we've had 38 up there. We've had Gibbon up there. And it was just everybody was fighting at different stages as well through that race for the top 3 places. And when we said you can't call who's going to take it, who's going to win a race, and that's exactly that. We must have had about 7 different leaders that race.
I can't even remember. I feel like we started this commentary about 3 hours ago, to be honest with you.
It does a little bit. But that's the tiers done for this week for round 3 in Brazil. Congratulations to Scott. Congratulations to all our winners this week. Congratulations to all drivers. MRCX is here on Friday, 7:30 p.m. So, like I say, subscribe, ring the bell, get the notifications up. So when we go live with 5 races per week, you will be there supporting and watching your favourite teams and drivers from each tier, and also your favourite driver in MRCX, where we have our own custom liveries on display. All that's left is to say a big thank you to Mr. Hills for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you back.
Thanks for having me. It's been a very, very long time. Gonna have to do it again sooner, aren't I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. I think we should. So thank you to you, Martin. Thank you to all the drivers. Thank you to everybody watching and taking part as well. And like I said, we will see you on Friday at 7:30, and then we'll be back in Abu Dhabi on Monday evening, 7 p.m. for Tier 2, followed by Tier 1 on Monday night. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Martin, and we will all see you soon. Good night, everyone.
See you later.